Shri Harihi, Shri Vaishnava Samhita, composed by Shri Shri Krishna Premi Swamigal, Book 2. Radhika Kuchakasturi Kunkumankita Vakshasam Shrungara Rasa Murtim Tam Bhakta Kolahalam Bhaje. Chapter 1. The Bhagavata said, O Sadguru, repository of compassion, on this earth we are the most fortunate ones, for we drink the honey of your teachings flowing from your lotus mouth. In the Kali Yuga, how will all devotees gain the darshan of Sripati, the Lord of Goddess Lakshmi, easily without taking up severe penance? Sri Sadguru replied, Seeing the world afflicted with the evils of Kali and enveloped with unrighteousness, Sri Narada asked Lord Vishnu, the Purushottama, the following question. Bhagavan, how will your darshan become easily attainable in this Kali Yuga, devoid of austerities and ridden with vices? When Narada put this question to Lord Purushottama, the patron of the devotees, the Lord graciously gave the following sweet reply. O Narada, I do not reside in the Vaikunta, nor do I dwell in the hearts of yogis or in the radiant Surya Mandala, but I am seen standing in the place where my devotees sing my glories. Making this avowed words true, Bhagavan Sri Madhava, the kingsman of all bhaktas, danced amidst devotees when they sing in praise of him. The fragrance of Ketaki flower speaks of the flower hidden inside. In the same way, the holy presence of Lord Vishnu inside the hearts of devotees is brought out by the symptoms of bhakti, like tears of joy flowing and hairs standing on end. Sri Hari dwells delightedly in those places where there is a thick growth of tulasi plant, where there is an abundance of fully blossomed lotus flowers, and where the Vaishnavas live. There were 3 Vaishnavas named Bhuta Yogi, Bhuta Talvar, Padma Yogi, Periyalvar, and Sarayogi, Pogayalvar. These great Mahatmas were not born of mother's womb, but they made their appearance. Being incarnations of Lord's paraphernalia, they were fully realized souls, exhibiting desirelessness and full sense of control. They went on pilgrimage and finally reached Tirukovilur, deeply lamenting that they had not gotten Sri Hari's darshan. These exalted personalities were standing outside the temple at midnight. Meanwhile, clouds gathered in the sky. It became dark everywhere. Heavy rains, wind chill speed, started pouring. Heavy rains with chill wind started pouring down. At that time, those Yogishwaras, steeped in meditation of Bhagavan, hastily reached the threshold of the house of Vaishnava. A Vaishnava. Standing there in the threshold, they were joyfully conversing, tears dripping from their eyes and hair standing on the end. They were absorbed in discussing the glories of Lord Keshava. At that time, someone hurriedly arrived in their midst. Without any tinge of anger or envy, they asked the stranger the following. The Divya Suris, Alvars, asked, We are pious and austere Vaishnavas. Who are you thus entering so hurriedly into our midst and pressing against us without vibrating the name of Lord Govinda? As you are not chanting Lord Hari's name, it is clear that you are not a Vaishnava, and you come running in, pushing us aside. Sri Bhagavan replied, O Vaishnavas, you are all endowed with divine knowledge. Light the lamp of wisdom and look at me standing next to you. Is it not well known in all the three worlds that I captivate all the living entities? I am beyond the codes of worldly life and Vedas. I am always independent and I act in that way. Sri Sadguru continued. Immediately they understood the true meaning underlying those words. Their doubts vanished. Lighting the inner lamp of divine wisdom, they saw the Lord, the Purushottama. He was dark in complexion, like the black rain bearing clouds. He was attired in yellow cloth. His neck was adorned with the Kaustuba gem. His chest was marked with the insignia of Shri. He was lotus eyed, and his countenance was bright and charming like the full moon. The Lord of the world and the Saviour of all was holding the holy conch, the holy disc, and the holy mace in his hands. He was spreading radiance, equaling that of a crore of suns. He was very handsome, pleasant looking. The ocean of mercy was decked with countless jewels. Having this darshan of Lord Sri Govinda, the Purushottama, the Alvas were spellbound with bliss. Those Vaishnavottamas prayed with immeasurable joy, singing unparalleled poetic verses, Divya Prabandha. Bhagavan was very much pleased with their blemishless prayer. With all kindness and grace, he uttered the following sweet words. Sri Bhagavan said, I appeared here in your midst in order to listen to your loving and delightful conversations detailing my glories. I am not captivated by yoga, Veda recitals, or yajnas. I enslave myself to the bhaktas due to their uninterrupted prayers. Whenever my devotees sing highlighting my attributes and glories, there I dwell bound by the rope of divine love. Whenever my devotees sing highlighting my attributes and glories, there I dwell bound by the rope of divine love. You are devotees free of lust and greed, and you covet nothing for yourself. Hence, it is certain that I am indebted to you on all accounts. Sri Sadguru continued. Lord Vishnu, the ultimate refuge of the devotees, the alluring lotus-eyed Lord spoke thus to the Alvars and vanished then and there. Those noble ones also experienced immense bliss, ever recollecting the grace of Lord Vishnu and singing in praise of him. Thus ends chapter 1, entitled Divya Suri Charitam of Book 2 of Sri Vaishnava Samhita, composed by Sri Sri Krishna Premi Swamigal.